Okay, so today we are going to read about sex and how it is to affect our spirituality if we just have sex with random partners. So I just try to this one, right? No belly, gospel. Well, it's quite dirty, racy. So this article is, I've never read this one. I briefly searched for the article this morning and I found probably this is a good length for me to read for my daily English English daily reading. And it's easier article compared to other articles that I've read as a non-native speaker. Yes, I'm Korean. I work for Korea Telecom, the number one carrier in Korea. I hope to have an overseas assignment, but my CEO still hasn't contacted me yet, so I'm waiting for him to give me a ring, hit me up. And the reason I am trying to read this one is that we, especially men, have a very higher sexual drive, and we always want to have sex as many women as possible. But is it okay to have sex with a lot of them, or it's just we have to stick with our wife? I don't like a premarital sex before your marriage. I don't agree with that. So let's find out what all is about to have multiple sex partners. What are soul ties and how do you break them? We asked the experts. Author Sarah Regan. From soulmates to twin flames. What the? From soulmates to twin flames, we can have all sorts of relationships with many different people in our lives. It's not always easy to discern what exactly is happening within a relationship when we are the one in the middle of it. So here we are breaking down soul ties. What about somewhat largely misunderstood? Soul ties aren't just about sex, though sex certainly can strengthen or enhance a soul tie. So what is it really, soul tie? We asked the experts, plus got the lowdown on how to break a soul tie if you feel stuck in one. That's good expression. You sometimes hear this expression a lot, like got the lowdown. You crawl low down on the floor so that you know what is going on the floor. So you become more knowledgeable about the floor, about the environment, about the knowledge. So got the lowdown, right? Got the lowdown on. Let's remember the expression, how to break a soul tie if you feel stuck in one. What is a soul tie? A soul tie is a connection with someone deeply embedded into your soul. Certified sex therapist DeAndrea Blakelock Johnson, LC, SWCST, tells MBJ. Often is thought to happen after you have intercourse with someone. She notes, adding it's often presented from a very cisgender, heteronormative perspective. I wonder what is cisgender, heteronormative perspective. I can only imagine that normative is normal, heteronormal, cisgender. I think I heard that word before, but I cannot put my finger on it. The idea that intercourse causes a soul tie has roots in the Christian tradition to perpetuate the idea that if you have sex outside of marriage, you will be connected to someone. Blakelock Johnson explains, but she goes on to say that soul ties, at least in regard to sex, are really attachments in disguise and an over-spiritualization of normal feelings. That's good definition, I think. She goes on to say, there's another cliche, that's a good expression. She goes on to say that soul ties, at least in regard to sex, are really attachments in disguise. That's very good expression, man. Are really attachments in disguise and over spiritualization of normal feelings. Additionally, although the bonding hormone oxytocin is released during orgasm, not all sexual partners go on to feel emotionally bonded to each other after the experience. See casual dating and friends with benefits situations. Yeah, friends with benefits, both of which can be done in a healthy way. Casual dating, friends with benefits. With that in mind, professional, intuitive, and author of Self-Care for Empaths, Tanya Carroll Richardson says, soul ties can also refer to the broad term describing any kind of a soul connection between two people. You could have known each other in a past life, be from the same soul family, or simply have a soul contract to meet up in this lifetime and have some type of relationship or experience together. And they don't have to be romantic relationships, she adds. You may even quickly realize this person isn't an uplifting presence in your life. You might have strong feelings or be drawn to someone initially, she explains. But as soon as you get to know them, you quickly realize you don't want to be around them. Honor that feeling and intuitive hit. 7 signs you have a soul tie with someone. Yeah, that's. She goes on to say that that assumption is just attachments in disguise, and it's just this over spiritualization of normal feelings. 1, you feel connected on a deeper level. Having a soul tie means you are bonded on a deeper level, at the level of spirit, Richardson tells MBG. While we are all connected, soul ties are something special, even though they are common. Feeling a profound sense of connection to someone is one sign you could be experiencing a soul tie. 2, they elicit strong relations from you. There is a level of intensity to soul ties, and while they don't all look the same, you can be sure everything will be amplified, the good and the bad. The good and the bad. You might be immediately comfortable with someone or be very intrigued or curious about someone, Richardson says, adding, look for a strong or noticeably different reaction than normal. 3, they feel familiar. On top of strong reactions to them, this person likely feels familiar to you. As Richardson notes, you could have the feeling you knew them somewhere before, or even if they are only been in your life a short while, feel as if they have always been around. 4, you may feel like they complete you. Sometimes, and particularly when a soul tie is activating an attachment wound, Blaylock Johnson explains, you may feel like this person completes you. This person completes you. I like this sentence. You may feel like this person completes you. This is especially true in the case of romantic soul tie relationships. This is when soul ties veer into toxic territory, which we will talk more about shortly. Veer into toxic territory, right? Soul relationship completes you. 5, your relationship feels unique or one of a kind. Richardson notes that oftentimes when it comes to soul ties, you are unique and offer an element of newness. Look for feelings and experiences you've never had before, she says, such as never having felt that much sexual passion with someone else, For example, or even doing something completely new together, like starting a new business venture or project. 6. They showed up at a significant time. Soul ties can show up at pivotal times in your life. I would like to remember this sentence because beautiful. Soul ties can show up at pivotal times in your life. Soul ties can show up at pivotal times in your life. Richardson explains, perhaps this person showed up at the exact moment you needed help, healing, or expertise they have to offer, she adds. Ask yourself what was going on in your life when you first met and what they had to offer. 7. A part of you feels like it's missing if they are not in your life. And lastly, as Blaylock Johnson tells MBG, the feeling of having a soul tie with someone can often become painful if things go south. If things go south, yeah, that's cliche, not going north. Becomes sour, becomes bad, becomes veers, it veers into the minus territory. It veers into negative territory. If things go south, if things go south, if things go south, if things go south, as a soul ties can often turn into attachment or be mistaken for attachment altogether. A lot of times people may experience a feeling of brokenness, she says, as if a part of them is missing because they are no longer connected to this person, right? If things go south, if things go south. Can soul ties be one-sided? Not unlike toxic twin flame scenarios, soul ties can also become toxic and one-sided. That's certainly not to say they always are, but as Blaylock Johnson explains, feeling as if someone can complete you or you are somehow broken without them are actually signs of attachment. People look for their partners to complete them, and they get lost in their role as a partner within a relationship and lose their individuality, she says. That can influence that negative attachment. Sometimes, she adds, one person can be a bit more attached or have the feeling that they are more connected than the other. So really understanding your own attachment style may be helpful so you can then better advocate for yourself and what it is you are wanting and needing in your relationship. As Richardson adds, you should never stay in an unhealthy situation simply because you feel you have a soul tie with someone. Many relationships and situations in life are not meant to last forever and have a natural expiration date, she explains. If you feel you have a strong soul tie with someone, but they still don't want to date you, be in a business partnership with you, etc., honor your own free will and wisdom. So I have to go back and read this one later, but before I go, I learned such beautiful expressions as it's just the attachment in disguise, and they are just over spiritualization of your normal feelings. Soul ties can show up at pivotal times in our life, in your normal life, and veer into if things go south, attachments, broken, and what else? What else I learned? Yeah, whenever you turn away from the article, you become forgetful because you are aged. Breaking down some soul tie, relationship idea. Oxygen, they don't have a romantic seven size. Yeah, that's just about it. I will come back and finish the rest of the story this afternoon. Bye-bye. Breaking soul ties. So if you've made it this far and you are fairly certain this is a soul tie you need to break, what do you do? Firstly, Blaylock Johnson emphasizes the importance of knowing you are whole and complete on your own. That's another good sentence. You are whole and complete on your own. You are whole and complete on your own. Specifically within the Christian tradition, there's the idea that when people are married, they become one. Even if you do ascribe to that belief, she says, think of it like 1 + 1 = 1, not 1.5 + 1.5 + 1. Ascribe. Never heard of the word before. I think subscribe and ascribe are the antonyms to each other. She also notes that losing a connection with someone isn't easy, and whether you are looking at it through the lens of breaking a soul tie or healing in some other sense, making sure you connect with an appropriate professional who can help you through that is important. Richardson echoes this, recommending you get any help you need, whether from loved ones or mental health professionals. And as Richardson adds, remember, you have lots of options in this lifetime. If you feel you have a soul tie with a friend, but you have both outgrown that friendship, don't feel that you will never find another special friend. The universe is very receptive and will help you find new friendships that are more aligned and appropriate for your life now, she says. A ritual for breaking soul ties. For a simple ritual to help release people with love that you can do without even talking to them, Richardson offers this practice: sit-in meditation. 2. Call on any angels or spirit guides to be with you as well. 3. Tell the person's soul that you wish them well and all the best in life, but you simply don't want to be in relationship with them anymore. The person's physical ears won't hear this release, but their soul definitely will. The bottom line, soul ties are one of the many kinds of relationships we can have throughout our lives, and they aren't uncommon. They are also not always a bad thing, though they can often be characterized by unhealthy attachment. It's totally possible for two people to have a soul tie and to have a strong, healthy relationship. But if it's verging on toxicity, and you think you may need to walk away, as Richardson says, remember that sometimes you have to let the old go to show the universe there is room for the new. It goes on to say, you have to let the old go to show the universe there is room for the new. Okay, so basically these guidelines, the simple ritual, very succinct, nothing special, but good strategy, easy to approach. Basically, you have to cut the soul tie if it verges on toxicity. If you do have sex with random people, you get random souls coming into your soul and mixed. We should avoid having sex with unloving people, people who we don't love. Love consummates in sex, of course, but we have to be careful. Even if we love someone, probably it's the attachments in disguise. And also, you are complete and grown. You are grown and complete. You are whole and complete on your own. Breaking